Hello and welcome to my first podcast. My name is Max Höck, and today you are listening to Don't Settle for the Try. Keep doing until you are happy with the result. Small listener note, I've been told by a friend that because we are so different in the way we consume our content or how we learn things, the podcast from now on will also be underlined with a presentation. So if you prefer to listen, feel free to stay in any of your podcast channels. If you want to watch additionally to the listen, or if you want to watch the presentation, you're very welcome. And of course, if it's the best way, I think the best way for all of us to learn something new is to bring it into practice. So keep doing what you are hearing. So for the visual presentation, including the audio, I put that up on YouTube, and you will always find it through the link ma90.de/YTE15. So 15 because it's the 15th episode. This podcast is about my journey from mediocrity to mastery. You learn the learnings I have along my way, tips, tricks, exercises, how I get ahead faster, which you will always be able to use for yourself as a shortcut to mastery. Today's story, back in school when I was probably between 9 and 14, we had those sport games. They were called federal youth games or so. And I remember I wasn't really big into sports at the time. I maybe was cycling to school or cycling into town, but that was pretty much it what I did. And when those games were on, during the summertime before the summer break, I remember that I always received a participation trophy. I never really was very good in it, and I never got high ratings or anything like that. So, and I think it's not the right way to kind of motivate young people or young kids that they have to do that sport exercise while they're not really good, but then still at the end they kind of receive a trophy. There wasn't really any practice sessions or anything huge coming up. We tried it once or twice, but there was nothing where you could say, well, I want to be better the next time. I want to practice harder to get there. So if you do it over and over again, obviously you will become better. And looking back now, I realized that I wasn't that good in sports because I wasn't doing them. The people who actually received the winning trophies, or however they're gonna be called, they played soccer 3-4 times a week, or done any other athletic sport exercises after school. So that's why they were much more athletic than I was back in school. So that was the reason they kept doing it over and over again, and through that repetition they obviously became better in that specific sport, and even they become better in any kind of sport. Everything new they have done, they were quite good because of their repetition and exercise and their physical conditions. They were much fitter than I was. So because of that, many things, or many times you probably have heard, or maybe if you have kids, you said it yourself to them, that give it a try. But is that what we need to really succeed? Is it giving a try to be successful? I don't think. I think it is important to give new things a try. To maybe start a new sport, to try out a new sport where we are not sure if we actually like it. That's important that we give that one try to actually know if it's something we feel, something we really like. Because before I started playing hockey or golf, I wasn't sure. I wouldn't go full in and buy, equipment for a couple of €1,000 if I wouldn't give it that first try, but then after that I do that with passion, and I do it repeatedly over and over again to become better, to have fun, and not just to try it. And that applies the same to a new profession. If you're in any profession you're not satisfied with what you have to do every day, don't settle for it. Try something new, and even maybe try to volunteer somewhere to just get a feeling of how other job would feel, and if it's something you want to do, and if that's your impression, if that's what you want to do, then don't settle for what you have right now. Do something new. So attitude over qualification. I think it's really important that we have the right attitude towards learning something new, to keep learning something new. Imagine I had an interview in Dublin when I went to a different role. It wasn't more management accounting based role what I had before. At the time it was more system key user based role, more technical role, to kind of learn new processes, to learn new systems, and train the stuff on the new systems and processes, and bring that change into the company. And the interview I had, my boss then, because I got the job, he was really interested in what I want to learn. If there was new things I had to learn during my career, things I had to overcome which I wasn't capable of doing when I actually started the job. And it was more important that he knew that if there's some obstacles put into my way, that I will be able to go around them or get them out of the way, and even get them out of the way for my team or people I train along the way. And that was really different when I interviewed for the job which brought me back to Germany a couple of years later, because in that interview it was really based on my school education. I'm not too sure, after 8 or 9 years doing a job, I'm not sure why the school education, which was, I don't know, 10 years back then, was really important for them. So that was really different. And I think a good example for that is, imagine if you go to a doctor who had the best education, medical doctor, best education 20 years ago, would you prefer, and hasn't put up a book or went to a seminar or broadened his knowledge about medication since his study, would you prefer to go to that doctor or to a doctor who has done his qualification 20 years ago, which was not on a that good school than the other doctor, but he kept going to seminars, further education programs every year, and reads a book every month about his special area he specialized in? So would you prefer to go to that doctor or someone who has been better 20 years ago and hasn't improved since then? So the learnings, I think, it is that in order to find what we really want to do, we need to dare to start something new. That's perhaps one try we do, just to get a feeling for what we want, for what we really like, for the direction we want to bring our career, our life. And if we don't dare to start something, if we don't dare to suck in the beginning, we won't be perfect in the beginning. We have to keep doing it. We have to keep going at it. Then something magical can happen if we keep putting in the practice, regardless of what it is. If it is a sport, a hobby, your job, anything else, if we keep doing it, if we keep finding or looking for ways to get better at certain things, we will keep finding those ways. And what we will learn along the way to overcome obstacles, overcome challenges. That's something nobody can ever take from us. I know we don't get a certificate for overcoming obstacles. We don't get a certificate or a diploma or a master's degree we can put onto a wall. But it's something we know, and something which also brings a lot of confidence into our lives, that we know if something unexpected happens, it happened to us so often that it's kind of fun to overcome it. At least it is for me. And one important thing, if you learn something new or if you keep practicing at something, the progress you have, you're the person who can see it the least. Other people around you will always see more improvement than you do. It's because you're always around with you. You're the first person you see in the morning or talk to in the morning in your head, and the last person in the evening. So you see every inch or millimeter of improvement, while other people, if they only see you once a day, they see a much bigger chunk of improvement than you do, and it's much more visible to them. If you remember someone who lost a lot of weight, they usually lost it during a time of 6 months or 1 year, and they used little increments every day, or even they gained some weight, but because you haven't seen them all the time, you've seen them once a week, maybe once a month, maybe every couple of months, it's impressive how fast it went because of that. So always remember, there is progress, and small progress over a long period of time will give you a lot of progress, but you are unable to see it that much. That's why I have done the last episode, why it's so important to track everything you want to improve, because then your progress becomes much more visible, and it keeps you motivated because you see that there's small improvement rather than there's the improvement you can't see or touch or feel or measure. So keep doing it also if you can't see the improvement straight away. They are there, you can't just see them as much as other people are able to see them. So thank you for listening. I'm your host Max Röck, and that was my first podcast. Thank you, and see you next time.